Good morning. Welcome to a new week. I hope you had a great weekend. Fully refreshed, ready for some more action in the charts. Oh, that's cool. I've got a few things I'll watch today. Nothing that exciting, but we'll go through them. We're starting off with Aussie Kiwi. So Aussie Kiwi on the daily chart, we've had quite a sideways action, generally speaking, for the last month or so. Last few months. We've broken down from this resistance level down to the daily 50. And then we kind of bounced off this level here. We're heading back up to the daily 50. Sort of almost touched it. We'll go to the hourly chart in a minute. Is this a good area to bounce from? Nothing really obvious recently, is there? Oh, over here, actually, this major level here is touched there, bounced there, then broke through it and kind of retested it. That's an okay level. So what do we see on the hourly chart? Give us anything decent? Well, the open was a bit weird. Gap over the weekend, open right down here. So whether that counts as an IBO or not, I don't know. As far as the market's concerned, have we had a retest? It's in the really low volume hours, of course. It's just in the first hour of trading for the week. So it may well come back down again, give an entry, and then go up back to the 4-hour 50 or the daily 50. Or you might think that, hang on, it's already reached the daily 50 pretty much, so that's probably all we're going to get if we are going to fall back again and go long again. It may not happen. And the risk reward, we've only got 1.36% there. So I would say that's probably not looking that great. There's some better stuff around. Let's look at Euro Kiwi. So we've got an uptrend, not a particularly strong one, but it's getting higher highs, higher lows all the way. Do we have a MACD diversion yet, just to signify we are going lower? No, what's this last one doing? These two are higher and higher. Yeah, so MACD is looking okay, there's no diversion there. So we could be having a bounce off of this daily 50. Now reach the daily 50, sorry, daily 20, this blue line. We could be heading up to new highs again. Had a bullish day on Friday, which tested the daily 20 properly and then ended up higher. So looking like we're going long. Now on the hourly chart, we have something which is not quite so great because we've got a break at the 1-hour 50. That's a great IBO, which kind of happened at the end of the US session, just before we opened here in Asia. We had a kind of retest, but we don't have a CBO because this hasn't broken the 4-hour with the gap. Here we can see just went up, close back down below it again, and then now we're going up again. So there's no clear space for CBO, so we can't put this as a CBO. If it does come back, give an entry, then it'll be an IBO. Have we already missed it? Maybe not, because it hasn't really tested the 1-hour 50 yet, but it has tested the 4-hour 50. So it doesn't look that great. We'll have to see how that pans out in the next few hours. Euro Kiwi, any time of day that can set up. Maybe we'll get a fall back to the 1-hour 50 and then we can trade it long. If it does happen, that'd be quite nice. You have to take a looser stop because it's not a CBO but an IBO, but we can take it up to recent highs or close to. So there's some good potential there if you get a nice entry. Nice rejections of the daily 20 in this red line. And we've had a 1, 2, at least 3 bounces off of it, so that's looking pretty strong. So we'll see how that one sets up in the next few hours. Pound Aussie. We have another one which is drifting up. This is a reasonable trend. It's not great, but it's reasonable. And we've had a pullback to this level, which we broke out of recently. We've got a break and retest of this level. Now, is this a strong level? We've got a wick there. Kind of wicks here, wick here. We have test here. So it's a reasonable level. Let's see what the 1 hour chart shows us. But basically, we are trending up. We break through this level that we are now, come back and retesting it, and then Friday has shown us a bullish day. Not the strongest, but a bullish day. After some reasonable deceleration. So let's have a look at the 1 hour chart. Now looking into this, we can actually see that ACB formed. It wasn't the most obvious till I put the lines in, and suddenly it looks clear, right? It looks like it was actually doing something. So we've got a wedge, deceleration wedge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tests at least to this bottom line, which is pretty good. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tests at least of the upper line. So actually it ended up being quite a nice looking ACB, pull back to that 4 hour 50. So basically what's happening is we've got this longer term uptrend. We've got a shorter term pullback, which is an ACB with a pullback, with the deceleration to the 4 hour 50, rejection of the 4 hour 50, now broken up above the 1 hour 50. That looks pretty good. So now we've got what we can see as a good ACB. We could take this as an ACBB, which is basically an IBO with the 4 hour 50 behind us instead of in front of us. Normally we trade through we're always with an IBO, we're trading through the 4 hour 50, but with an ACB, the 4 hour 50 is behind us. So basically got clear skies above us, but we're aiming for recent highs, either these highs here, or we could even push up to here. So that looks like it could be quite a nice little setup. It falls back in the next few hours. Again, it's a Asia pair, so we could that could be selling out in the next few hours. That looks pretty good. Pip snatcher not on because the 1 hour 50 is above the daily pivot, which is this blue line here. So it needs to break through the 1 hour 50, enter, and then trade through it again, which is a no-no for pip snatcher. So ACBB, I think, is quite a nice looking one there. Okay, let's get moving on to pound Swiss. Pound Swiss, let's zoom in a little bit, it's a little bit not obvious. Right, so we've got a very similar looking chart. It's exactly the same, isn't it? Yeah, pretty much. Okay, very similar looking chart. We've got a break above the 1 hour 50, sorry, the daily 50. Over the daily 50, pull back, retest, and now we've got a bullish day on Friday. Not the strongest of price action, but still looks pretty good. So what do we have on the 1 hour chart? We have a downtrend 1 hour 50 break, pull down, went through the 4 hour 50, but not really that convincingly. There's probably a wedge there as well, isn't there? We could probably get a wedge out of this. Although it didn't actually stop at the 4 hour 50, this wedge went down to our that's pretty good. Went down to the daily 50, daily 20. So actually broke through the 4 hour 50 and then went down here. But again, we can't have a pip snatcher because the 1 hour 50 is just above it. But should we get a decent break off this 1 hour 50, need a higher high. This is pound Swiss, so we've got 8 hours before this is going to set up. So lots of time. Let's break away, pull back, give us a nice entry on the 1 hour 50, and we can trade it up to recent highs or higher. So that could be another ACBB again because the 4 hour 50 is behind us. That's worth keeping an eye on as well. I like that one. Pound Kiwi. Lots of pounds. So we have a pullback to the daily 50 and then a very bullish day on Friday. Do we have any MACDs or anything? No, the MACD is still looking very strong. We're getting higher highs quite clearly on the MACD. That looks good. So we're looking for some kind of entry on the 1 hour chart. 1 hour chart rejecting the daily 50, this green line. You can see it's 1, 2, 3, triple bottom, maybe even 4 on the daily 50. And straight up through the 1 hour 50, breaking above the 4 hour 50 momentarily, and it's actually starting to break away again. which is good because it makes our fib line up even better. So when that does pull back, if it pulls back, so it's pound Kiwi any time of day, if it pulls back soonish, it could be an IBO, or it could even be a CBO. CBO needs to have a nice clear break on the 4-hour chart, so we need to see at least a 1 candle break. But we've kind of got that if we get the pullback after 12, another 3 hours. Yep, so another 3 hours of this candle, this 4-hour candle. So we've got a long way to wait for this to pull back. If we're going to get a CBO, but if it does happen, then we're going to have the 1 hour 50 catching up, and we can have a nice little looking CBO. If it comes back quite quickly, it'll be an IBO, an IBOC, because we'll be trading through the 4-hour 50 again. Okay, so that could be interesting. We have to wait for that one to set up and see what happens there. What do we have next? Kiwi Swiss. Kiwi Swiss breaking down nicely. We had a bit of a MACD divergence there, just a small one, and that gave us this. Actually, that was actually a higher low, so it doesn't really count. We've had a small pullback to the daily 50 zone, you could say, because though it broke it here, it never cleared it for a day, it then broke back down again, and then a bearish day on Friday, so that could well be going lower again today. BDP for me is short on this one. And on the 1 hour chart, we have rejection to the 1 hour 50, and then it broke through it. So we kind of had an IBO there, but it was a very short-lived one. It's now broken down to the 4 hour 50, and when it finishes going down and pulls back, we could have a good IBO. I don't think this one kind of meets criteria, but not that well. Wasn't a decent break, wasn't a decent retest. Didn't hang around there long enough for people to jump on board the big money. So we could be looking for a discretionary second entry on IBO. And we can take the fib actually back to the highs and probably get, depending when it pulls back, of course, we've got a couple of choices. This one was slightly above the daily pivot. You can't use a pip snatcher because you won't get 1-to-1 before the 4 hour 50. So depending when it pulls back, it'll be an IBOC, and you can adjust the fibs depending on when it pulls back, how quickly it pulls back, whether you want the 382 of the fib to be here or slightly lower. You can then use the fib from this level here. So a couple of choices there. See when that pulls back, that could be a nice IBO. We can trade that down to these lows, or even down to these lows. So it's profit potential is quite good. So that's one to keep an eye on. And the last one, okay, is Kiwi Yen. Now, this one, if we ignore this line, we can see that we've got an uptrend, very bullish day, pullback. It looks like it might be putting back to the daily 50 after a very bearish day on Friday. Is there a level here? Maybe there's a level here. Yeah. There's lots of noise around here, so you could probably find a level if you look hard enough. Or maybe that's going to continue down. But the fact is, we do have this trend line which has been respected pretty well. Here, 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 and then here, and then we eventually broke through it, and also going much further back as well, up to about a year. So that can act as very strong support, which you need to break through. Look at the 1 hour chart. We do have quite a nice looking IBOC setting up, but again, because of that trend line, let's copy and paste that trend line, and then we go to trade straight through it. Okay, there's our trend line, which we can see even on the 1 hour chart. We checked it here, then it broke through. That's come back, respected again, bounced off, and now it's breaking through again. So we have to trace through that down to these lows. So do you want to risk that? That's up to you. Personally, I won't. I think trend lines can be more often than not they're respected. Yes, of course they do break through. When you've got a really strong one like this, it even notices it on the 1 hour, even picks up on the 1 hour. So that for me is I'll just keep an eye on it, just for fun. Okay, that's what we have then. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which look reasonable. Waiting for those to set up, and hopefully they'll give us a nice trade today. I wish you all the best in the markets. I will speak to you tomorrow. If you're not a member of Pro Trader, scottprotrader.com. You can sign up for some free training, learn a swing trading strategy, and learn what this is all about in more of a macro sense, as in how you can just use this skill to grow your account size, and therefore your potential profits, and yeah, change your life and a decent income, working from home on your terms, basically. Okay, I wish you all the best. I'll speak to you tomorrow. I'll see you then. Take care. Bye bye.